you look at the way that a lot of highways, for example, have been built in this country, a lot of that was at the expense of Black and brown neighborhoods.
Hi everyone, my name is Justin Kirkner. I'm the Director of Home Ownership here at Lexington Community Land Trust. We are an affordable housing nonprofit and the first community land trust in the state of Kentucky. We were created as a part of the Newtown Pike Extension Project, which is a first of its kind in terms of a partnership between a Federal Highway Administration, State Transportation Cabinet, and Affordable Housing Organization to create an equitable and just housing development after an urban highway project has come through a neighborhood.
In the 70s, there was an attempt to put an interstate design through this neighborhood, and the neighbors actually stopped that road project.
So after the 1970s, the Newtown Pike Extension Project sought to work with the community of Davis Bottoms, as opposed to working against this historically Black community, which unfortunately has been the story of transportation planning for the past 100 years, 150 years in the United States. And so this revisioning of what a transportation urban highway design project can be really came into fruition in the late 1990s when the Newtown Pike Extension Project team decided upon the community land trust model of community ownership and permanent affordability as a way to create a more equitable project that would ensure that there would be no displacement from the highway.
The project team brought in urban planners and architects to develop the urban village plan. As the team worked on the plan, they researched options for keeping the new housing affordable for the residents and managing the land where the new urban village would be developed. The option that best suited the project's goals was the community land trust concept,
which is ultimately what we decided to go with because it protected the property, it kept it affordable by using an entity to manage the property and hold it in trust.
One of the things that makes a land trust really unique is that it provides sustainable, affordable housing.
Because of the environmental justice issues, it allowed us to use mitigation funds for a variety of things that we might not normally think of or incorporate into a normal highway project.
By the time this project had come into fruition and the State Transportation Cabinet and Federal Highway Department had decided that this was the route that they wanted to go, they realized that there was much more than the traditional, purchasing of properties at fair market value that they had to do. They had to do social justice mitigation, environmental justice mitigation, to make this community whole and to ensure that the community spirit that had lived for 150 years continues to live. So what they did was the first partnership of its kind in terms of a urban highway project looking at an anti-displacement lens. And so they really looked at it through the lens of racial justice and equity. They looked at it through the lens of anti-displacement and said, what can we do differently this time? The Lexington Community Land Trust was created to not only rehouse the original residents of Davis Bottoms in quality-built, energy-efficient, and permanently affordable homes, both home ownership and rental, entirely up to those original residents, but we also sought to create an entire community of equitable, sustainable development, including a 5-acre city park that is currently under development, commercial spaces that respond directly to the need of those individuals who live in the neighborhood on land that is owned by those who live in the neighborhood. So this was a way to not only financially ensure that the neighborhood would stay affordable, but it was a way to ensure that the neighbors themselves who were displaced by this road project temporarily were able to move into a community that they controlled through their ownership stake in the Community Land Trust. The Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, has really came out to say that highway planning in the past has been racially motivated, that communities of color have been disproportionately affected by urban highway planning that has encouraged a racial wealth gap and reduced black home ownership and brown home ownership, but to set up a model that can be replicated throughout the country for how we can create a just and equitable landscape in transportation and urban highway design that focuses on racial justice and equity, anti-displacement policies, anti-gentrification policies, and the ethos of community ownership of land. So please feel free after this video to hop into the video chat room for this lightning session so that we can chat a little bit about what the Community Land Trust model means in a transportation planning setting. I'm very much so looking forward to your questions, and hopefully this can be the start of a sustained conversation. Thank you.